Thank you, sir, very
You're
much.
welcome.
And Vanessa, you
We're good.
thank you. I will call to order the regular meeting of the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners. Today is Tuesday, July 2 of 2024. We welcome everybody who is with us. A couple housekeeping items. I'll note that this meeting is being live streamed and recorded. I'll also ask if you have a cell phone or any type of electronic communication device, if you'd please put it on silent or vibrate. We'd appreciate your doing that. We always begin our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance and then would ask you to remain standing for a moment of silence. Commissioner Sanada, could you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. If you please remain standing, we'll have a brief moment of silence. Thank you. Vanessa, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Sinata?
Here.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Here.
Commissioner Vogler?
Here. Thank you. All three commissioners are present. We have a quorum. We always have two opportunities for public comment. One will be in just a few moments, and then we'll open it back up for public comment when we get ready to adjourn. You are welcome to speak both times or one of the two times, or if you're just here to listen, that's equally fine. We ask that your comments be related to county government matters. If you've got a concern about a state issue, we suggest that you speak to your state legislators. If it's a local municipal issue, we suggest you speak with those folks. If it's a federal issue, we refer you to your congressman or your U.S. senators. But if it's a county matter, we're here to listen. We do ask that you try to limit your time to about 5 minutes if you could, please, out of respect for people's schedules. Item 2 on the agenda is, did everybody get a copy of the agenda? And again, Hayden, I'll have the packet for you when we're done. We always set aside time for row officers who are our other elected officials if they have anything to talk with us about, but none of them are here today, and that's quite all right. They're not obligated to be here, but we always set aside time if they do show up. So that opens it to public comment. Anybody wishing to speak at this time? Also, if you could enter your name for the record, we'd appreciate that. Any public comment? Hearing none at this time. Once again, we'll reopen it before we adjourn the meeting. We have under fiscal and contractual 2 warrant registers. These are also known as check reconciliation registers. These are documents the county controller's office puts together for us. And for the record, it's essentially a listing of all of the bills that have been paid. And these registers are dated June 25 and June 28. They're available if anybody wishes to see them. And I'll give my colleagues some time to look them over. And then whenever you're ready, I could take a motion to accept these documents.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Thank you, Dan, and
I'll second.
Chris, thank you as well. Comments, gentlemen, any questions or concerns about the warrant register? If not, we'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We have the minutes of the June 25 meeting in our packet, and again, give you folks time to look them over, and once you're ready, I could take a motion for us to adopt the minutes.
I move that we accept the minutes. I'll second.
Thank you, both Chris and Dan. Any concerns or questions? If not, we'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sanado,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. We're down to commissioner reports and comments, and it looks like I get to go first today. Just a couple miscellaneous items. I will note, and it's listed on our agenda, that the County Planning Commission was scheduled to meet on Wednesday, July 10 at noon, but we were notified that that meeting has been canceled. So there will not be a meeting of the County Planning Commission on July 10th. I also want to note, I represent the board on the county's Conservation District Board of Directors. They meet once a month, and the meeting is always on the first Wednesday. So the Conservation District Board will be meeting tomorrow at noon. It's a public meeting. In the past, the meetings have been held at the Grill on the Hill restaurant in Neshannock Township. Tomorrow, the meeting will be held basically right across the road at Sony's restaurant, also in Neshannock Township up on State Route 18. And then finally, I'll note that last week I serve on the County Commissioners Association's Workers' Compensation Trust Fund Board of Directors. We held our summer board meeting out in Bedford County, and was able to attend that meeting and learn that the safety grants that we receive will be continued. So we'll continue to get notification of those grants, which we put to good use in the past. So I was happy to hear that news. That's all I have today. Let me see. Mr. Sanato, you're next.
Thank you, Chairman Vogler. Yeah, it was actually a very busy week since our last meeting. I had the opportunity, you mentioned it last week, the passing of Evelyn Ward. And I'd like to bring that up because I had an opportunity to join Judge Motto and Judge Acker to speak at her memorial service on Friday. I think it was very uplifting reflection of her life, which she's done in the community. She was 89 years old, and she touched a lot of people's lives. So I thought it was a very nice send-off for Evelyn and her family. So I do want to bring that up. And, I got the opportunity and last weekend to go to the Elwood Festival, arts and craft and entertainment. It keeps growing every year. I think it was the 42nd annual. I was there Friday and Sunday, and just quite impressed with what's going on in Elwood City with Mayor Court and his group down there. They're very active as far as activity down there. I'm just so pleased to see it and to see so many of the county residents, I think. So I ran into a lot of Newcastle people there, the Shannon community, everyone. So I think it's so nice when people come out for something like that. This is really the first opportunity I've had to attend that. And I was quite impressed with the operation down there. And so I got a chance. That for me, that was the big event for the weekend. And as we prepare for the 4th of July, there'll be a lot more activity in our community. So I always try to tell people, if anyone says there's nothing to do here, I'll be happy to share my schedule with them. I've done that for years as far as activity. There is a lot going on in Lawrence County. We're very fortunate. We have a lot of organizations. And it's amazing how many people come from outside of the area to Lawrence County. And serving on the tourism board, and I had the opportunity to serve on the tourism committee in Harrisburg. Tourism is so big for our state and for our county. It's not just those big week-long events. It's those 1-day, 2-day, 3-day events. It generates a lot of money into a community, and it helps economic development. So it all ties in together for what they do. And we've got a good team on our tourism board with Janet and Jenny. And it's just so important, and we must continue to promote that And when I see all the people that are participating and to see in the downtown Newcastle, it's going to be having, I know this on the 5th, they're going to be having their band once again downtown, which is drawing record numbers this year. The first 2 concerts had record numbers, according to, I ran into Yolanda, who's in charge of that this year. And she's real happy about the numbers that are coming. So that's a good positive signs starting to happen. So that's really pretty much what I have, and we'll probably have more to talk about next week. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Chris. Commissioner Kennedy.
Well, unfortunately, Chris, I'm just getting my feet back in the gear, but I did make it down Sunday to Elwood, and that place was going pretty good. I stayed for about an hour and a half. That was about enough for me. I had to get back home, but I'm getting out there, getting more things done, and just glad to be here. That's all. So I am.
Okay, thanks very much, both of you gentlemen. Under new business, the district attorney's office has submitted a proposed resolution. What number is this, Vanessa?
159.
159. I'm going to throw this out to both of you. We generally request that when a row office or a department has something they want us to consider, that they have somebody here to present it in the event that we have questions. Appears there's nobody here from the DA's office. Now, I will note, this is a procedural, relatively minor matter. What we're looking at is an agreement with Direct Image Copy Systems for, it's a lease agreement for a copy machine, printer, and scanner. I'll leave it up to you gentlemen. We can do one of 2 things. We can vote on it today if you'd like. We can table it and request that somebody from the DA's office attend.
Dan, I did email Josh. And
Yes.
He replied back that it sounded like he was going to be here.
Okay,
So maybe something came up, but he did tell me that he is comfortable with the new contract and that he was asking for this to be on today.
okay, and I appreciate your noting that, and when his line of work, things do come up. You're right. Once again, gentlemen, I'll leave it up to you if you wish to take action today or if you'd prefer to table it. Really doesn't matter to me, but I'll welcome your thoughts.
Have we had in the past, Chairman, because we've only been here for 6 months, we have passed it without someone being here on occasion, or is it?
On matters like this that are fairly routine and yeah, we've sometimes gone forward. And I think knowing that he did express to you over the phone,
Right.
but again, it's up to you.
I'm willing to do it today, just because he talked to you, Vanessa, and it is a minor contract. I mean, if it would be anything which we would really need to have full explanation and questions on, I would expect him to be here. But I think with the type of work that they're doing in, he talked to Vanessa and he's fully supportive. I would have no problem with this thing.
Thank you for that. And Mr. Kennedy, do you have any thoughts?
Sounds like the lease for the copy machines are expiring, so we already have an agreement with this company, and we're just renewing it from what I'm reading on here. I'm okay. It's just a continuing. So they don't have a copy machine over there. We've got to keep it there. So
That's fine.
I'm okay with it.
Okay. Heard that. Would one of you care to make a motion for proposed resolution 150?
Motion from 150.
No,
Thank you, gentlemen. I guess in the future, if this comes up again, we can always say that something like this, even if they send a staff person, not that the staff person's not important, but something like this doesn't necessarily have to have the elected official here, but as long as someone's here, then I think given the discussion we've had, I'm okay. So we have the motion for proposed resolution 159. It's been seconded. We'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thanks, Vanessa.
You're welcome.
Thank you both, gentlemen. The next couple of resolutions, it looks like we have 2 from Children and Youth Services, and Mike Grippo is with us this morning. Welcome, Mike. You have What we've generally been doing is taking these as a group. So we would be looking at resolutions 160 and 161. And if you're both comfortable, we could take a motion for both of them, but let's see what Mike has to tell us. So we'll start with 160, please.
All right, well, the good news, I only have two today. Not six already. This is Bethesda Lutheran Services. It's a renewal. They have a group home and a foster care. They range from 160 to 530 in the group home and depending on where the child's placed, in foster care, 68 to 135. They're out of Crawford County. In 22-23, we've had one child placed there. In 23-24, we have two, and we currently have two now. Now, we agreed on their rates to make it a 2-year contract. Not a 2-year contract, but a 2-year rate. So next year, there won't be an increase in their rates. So we made it a price lock, and they agreed to it. So what you see now is going to be the same thing next year when we present the contract. But it is a 1-year contract.
With the understanding that next year's proposal will be flatlined.
Yes,
Okay.
no matter what inflation or whatever falls.
Anything else you want to note on this first proposal?
No.
Okay, thank you. I'll see if Mr. Kennedy has questions on the first one. No. Thank you, Dan. Chris, any questions? No. Okay, thank you. That takes us to proposed resolution 161, which is MHY Family Services over in Mars, Butler County.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, so it's a renewal. It's one of our in-home providers. They're out of Butler. It ranges from 90 to 115. We use them quite a bit. Back in 22, 23, we used 21. They see 21 and JPO used them for 3. Last year, 8, and then this year, and it's like an in-home. It's constantly changing. As a caseworker refers them, the numbers are going to change. The nice thing about that is they do therapy. They work with JPO for problem sexual behavior. Actually, they haven't had, this is the first rate increase they've had since 3 years. So they're pretty standard on their law. As you can see in 21, 22 was 80, stayed the same for the next 2 years. This is, like I said, the first increase. But yeah, so they're a very good in-home provider for us.
Thank you, Mike. Chris, do you have any questions for Mr. Grippo?
No, I think it's pretty straightforward.
Okay, thank you, sir. And Mr. Kennedy, any questions?
I'm good.
Thank you. Well, we've had the two proposals, number 160 and 161, given to us by Mr. Grippo. Would one of you care to make a motion to approve both of these resolutions?
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second that.
Thank you, gentlemen. If there are no other concerns, we can take a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. Mike, thank you very much. I hope you have a real nice holiday.
You guys do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank
And gentlemen, you're welcome to stay, but if you have to head back, we understand. Thank you both. John, you have a good holiday as well.
Thank you. You do the same.
Thank you. Proposed resolution 162. The county was made aware by our engineering firm, Frank B. Taylor Engineering, that one of our county bridges had a damaged end treatment. And your line of work, you would know, fill us in on what an end
It's the
treatment.
end piece of the guardrail,
Gotcha.
and someone smacked it and it chewed up some guardrail.
So it needs, thank you, that's what an end treatment is.
Guardrail.
And they usually have the orange and black
Yeah.
striped line on them, so they get your attention. This bridge, the Nashua Bridge, is a county-owned bridge in Pulaski Township on Nashua Road. And Taylor Engineering made us aware of this damage. They received quotes, not formal bids, because the estimated price of repair was well below the threshold that the state requires us to take sealed bids on. That threshold is at least $23,000 and some change. They came up with a quote, which they're referring to as the lowest responsible quote for this repair, amounting to $4,675. The company is known as Penn Line Services, and they're recommending that we vote to approve giving authorization to have Penn Line Services perform this work at the amount of $4,675. Again, with your background as a township supervisor and a roadmaster, anything you wish to add? You're comfortable?
It's good price.
Okay, I thank you. Chris, do you have any comments or questions?
Yeah, I think if Commissioner Kennedy believes it's got a good price, then it is a good price and accept it.
Very good. Well, thank you, gentlemen.
Dan, Taylor also sent pictures.
Oh, okay. All right, that's good to know. Thank you. May I have then a motion for Resolution 162?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Thank you, gentlemen. If there are no other concerns, we can go ahead and vote with a roll call vote.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you, Vanessa. We've noted in previous meetings that the three of us serve on the West Central Job Partnership Governing Board, along with our three fellow county commissioners in Mercer County. That board is also responsible for appointing members to the Workforce Investment Board for West Central Job Partnership. And there are four individuals whose terms are expiring. And we've been asked by West Central to reappoint them. I'm going to walk through them, and are you both willing to take them as a group? One motion for all four? Okay, thank you. Now, the first one, Debbie Van Kirk is employed by Bruce and Marilees, and she would represent the small business sector. Federal guidelines for this board require various sectors of the community, and she would fall under the small business sector. I do want to note one minor adjustment. We're basing where they come from on where they work. So in this case, it does say City of Newcastle, but technically Bruce and Marilees is on Cass Street, which is in Shenango Township. So let's note that Ms. Van Kirk is from Shenango Township based upon her place of employment. That would be Resolution 163. 164, and gentlemen, stop me if you have any questions or concerns. 164 is Gail Steck from the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation. Once again, that office is out on Frew Mill Road, so she is technically employed in Shenango Township as well. So we'll note that instead of the City of Newcastle, we'll note that she's from the Shenango Township. And she's been on that board for quite some time, I do know that. Resolution 165 would be Mr. Benjamin Bush, whose office is in the City of Newcastle, and he would represent both economic and I believe that would be community development as well as small business. And he's, of course, with Forward Lawrence County Regional Chamber of Commerce. By the way, I neglected to note that these are, in the instance of Debbie Van Kirk, the term of office would be from July 2 of this year to June 30 of 2027. Under Gail Steck's, I think on the resolution, we have to correct that, don't
I
we?
just saw that, yep.
So would that be,
They're all the same.
okay, so let's make that 7/2 of 2024. This is for Ms. Steck. And the expiration would be 6/30 of 2027. So we'll note that correction on Resolution 164. For Mr. Bush, it's the same. The term of office would start today, and conclude on June 30th, 2027. Proposed Resolution 166 is Mr. Jeffrey Mendillo. He represents the labor sector, and he is the Assistant Training Director of Western Central Pennsylvania Electricians JATC, which is located out on Wilmington Road in Neshannock Township. So this would be Mr. Mendillo's appointment. So those are the four that West Central has asked us to consider. Let me see if Mr. Sanada has any comments or concerns.
We just appreciate these four individuals for their community service and serving on this board.
Thank you, Chris. Mr. Kennedy? Okay, thank you both. Well, gentlemen, may I have a motion then for resolutions 163 up through and including 166? It would reappoint Debbie Van Kirk, who works in Shenango Township, Gail Steck, who works in Shenango Township, Benjamin Bush, who works in the city of Newcastle, and Jeffrey Mendillo, who works in the Neshannock Township. May I have a motion for those four resolutions, please?
Yeah, I move that we approve resolution 163 through 169.
Now, that'd be
163.
163 to 166?
Yeah.
163 to 166.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I'll second that.
Thank you both, gentlemen. Any other comments or concerns? If not, we'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. Those four folks are reappointed, and I guess we'll need to advise Mr. Dogan at West Central.
He emailed me letters that I need to send.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Vanessa.
Yep.
Appreciate it. Next item for us to consider is proposed resolution 167. This is a budget amendment. Falls under the district attorney's office. We're looking at a $4,590.85 adjustment. This is from the district attorney's APP fund, and he's asking that that dollar amount be noted for his APP fund expense account, specifically for materials and supplies. And it's from the prior year's encumbered fund balance. Joe, anything else we need to know about?
It's carryover dollars. Okay. Let's put into his, materials and supplies.
Makes
I'm
sense.
okay with it.
Okay, good. That's good to know, and I'll see if Mr. Kennedy has any questions. Okay, Mr. Sanada?
Good as well.
Okay, thank you. This would be proposed resolution 167. May I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you both, gentlemen. We'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes,
motion carries.
thank you. Proposed resolution 168 would be a $10,000 transfer, taking money from the American Rescue Plan contingency line item and transferring it to the facade grant line item, specifically for the facade program in the borough of Elwood City that the prior Board of Commissioners had earmarked funds for. And I believe what triggers that is when the planning office gets invoices, and they look them over and they approve them, and they come to us, we make the transfer so that those charges can be covered. Okay, thank you. Anything else, Joe, on this one?
No, it's, prior board has approved the facade program and, it's a good thing. People are taking us up on it.
Yes, they are. So thank you, Joe. Chris, do you have questions or concerns?
No, I think it sounds straightforward. Joe, this money was already appropriated.
Yeah, it's through the ARPA,
Okay, so we just have to make it official.
yes.
Okay.
This allows us to, transfer the money and pay it out as we need to.
So money's put aside for this.
Yes, that's good.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Mr. Kennedy, any questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay, thank you, sir. This is resolution 168. May I have a motion?
I move that we approve resolution 168.
I'll second.
Thank you both. If there are no other concerns, we can take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. We have two administrative transfers that are being put in front of us for consideration. The jail is asking for a $1,500 transfer from their line item of medical expenses into their line item of vehicle expenses. And then the second request is from the treasurer's office. They're asking for an $855 transfer from their travel and training line item into that of office minor. That's to purchase a new printer in their office. Those are the two transfers that have been requested. Dan, any thoughts or questions about these?
No.
Chris? No. Gentlemen, may I have a motion then to approve these two requests?
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second.
Thank you both, and if there are no other concerns, we can have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes?
motion carries.
Thank you. We have a resolution on the table from CYS. We've been advised that we anticipate the possible likelihood that this may be able to be taken off the table at next week's meeting. We're hoping that may happen. So I guess they're asking us to keep it on the table for now with the possibility of it being considered next week. That being said, we don't have to take any action, but I do want to make note of it to see if either of you have any concerns. Anything, Dan?
No.
Okay, thank you. Couple of announcements. This board will meet next Tuesday, July 9, at 10 a.m. in this room. That meeting is open to the public. Today's scheduled meeting of the Lawrence County Opioid Advisory Board is canceled. Courthouse will be closed this Thursday, July 4, in observance of Independence Day. We will be open on July 5. As I mentioned earlier, the Planning Commission will not have a meeting in the month of July. The meeting had been scheduled for July 10. It was going to take place at the Slippery Rock Township Municipal Building, but that meeting has been canceled. Also then next, and this isn't on the listing, but next Tuesday, July 9 at 1:30, the West Central Job Partnership Governing Board, as we mentioned earlier, the three of us serve on that board along with the three Mercer commissioners. That meeting will take place here next Tuesday at 1:30, and it is open to the public. Any other announcements that maybe I forgot or overlooked? Public comment. Hayden, you're once again our public. Any questions or concerns that you might have?
Nothing right now.
All right, thank you, sir, and I'll have your packet for you in a few moments. Mr. Sonata, do you have any closing comments?
No, Chairman, I think everything was straightforward today. Forward to next week's meeting.
I thank you very much. And Mr. Kennedy?
No, I'm good to go.
All right, sir. Thank you. We're glad you're feeling better.
I'm doing good.
That's great. We like to hear that. And as we always double check with Joe and Vanessa, anything that we've maybe inadvertently overlooked. Okay, that means we can adjourn if one of you would wish to make an adjournment motion.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second.
Thank you. It's been moved, seconded that we adjourn. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye, opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. This meeting's adjourned, and Mr. Vanasco will turn off the computer. Thank you, everybody.
Hey, that was a good one.
Yeah.
You're getting better. Took you how many years, but you get.
Oh, I'm